Hello, everyone. I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. Hold on one second. I'm getting my comments set. Sorry. I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. This is your weekly reading where we talk all about what the heck is happening out there in the cosmos. What are the energies that you're feeling that are impacting your experience, your life, the things that you're feeling? I'm going to help you to understand the things that you're feeling. I'm going to help you to understand what the heck is showing up in your world this week and how you can make the most of it so that you can have the best week possible with the energy as it stands. So if that is for you, make sure you stick around. If you like this kind of thing, please like this video, heart this video, share this video, comment below. Hi, Trina. Nice to see you here. All the things, all of these help to get these messages to the people that need to connect with these messages. So if you've been following along with this energy, every week has been building into the next week, and this week is no exception. We are now in this energy of so many things moving forward, right? We're watching lots of green lights, or hopefully we are. We have a lot of green lights that are happening for us, a lot of opening, a lot of doors opening, a lot of forward movement, a lot of us taking action on things. Action is so important right now, especially inspired action, not action that's based on fear, right? If you're taking action because you're afraid, because you're stressed, because you're worried, that's not the action, right? The action comes from a place of just that divine inspiration, that sense of, oh, like in this moment, this is something that I feel called to do. That's using your intuition. That's letting yourself be led and letting yourself be guided by your higher power. So those kind of actions right now are huge. Hi, Erin. Hi, Jay. So it's so important that we are paying attention to that, paying attention to the actions that we're feeling called to take. And I do feel like we have a little bit of like, because Uranus is about to move out of Taurus and into Gemini. And Taurus, like I'm a Taurus myself, like we have a stubborn streak within us. And so, how I feel that this is playing out as is in kind of its last couple of, I think, couple of weeks. It moves into Gemini toward the end of April. In its last couple of weeks, I kind of feel like we're finding ourselves in these sticking points. So, what I mean by that is like these things that we have been made very aware of that we need to move forward from, that we need to let go of, that we need to change, that we need to take action on. And maybe there are some parts of ourselves, maybe we're pulling from that stubborn Taurus energy a little bit where we're like, no, like I'm going to stick with this. I'm not going to move forward from this. I'm not going to let go from this, because the energy right now is about moving forward. It's not about going backwards. And that's important for us to keep in mind because we don't want to be going backwards. But I also feel like some of these sticking points, like we might decide to talk ourselves into going backwards. And I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's going to serve anybody. But I also feel like it's kind of these last little ways that we're trying to maybe take our power back in some ways, which is interesting because we're only disempowering ourselves. So I want you to recognize where maybe you're getting caught up in a sticking point where you're digging your heels into something that you know that you need to let go of. Like, you know that on a soul level, that you know that it's time to move forward from. Maybe you need to forgive something or something like that, but you're caught in that and just kind of like staying in that energy. So if you find yourself in that, let yourself be moved forward. I know it's hard. Like, I get it. Again, Taurus, that part of me loves to dig her heels in sometimes, especially if I feel like I'm being told what to do, even if it's when I feel like I'm being told what to do from my higher power sometimes, you know. I've come a long way with that, but sometimes that's still there. So I want you to just check that and make sure that you're not like holding on to anything just because it's familiar, just because you're used to it, just because you're being stubborn. Let this show you What else has to change? Because when Uranus moves into Gemini, it will be in Gemini for a long time. And this is a significant shift. And I feel like we're doing kind of the last of the closing out of those things that we have been shown that we need to let go of for a while. Probably should have let go of back during the eclipses and the Mercury retrogrades and all of these things that we've been navigating our way through. But some of those things maybe are still holding on. So if that's you, if you can take the advice, right? Let go, let yourself move forward, let yourself focus on that forward moving energy. I also think this week, I talked about, I feel like a lot of doors are opening, right? But this week feels very heart centered to me when I feel into the energy, meaning that while this energy is very much action oriented, I think we also need to just like take a pause and tune in with ourselves, check in with ourselves and ask ourselves, does this feel right for me? Right? So if like we're about to walk through a door that has opened for us and it doesn't feel right, that's not a door that you want to go through, right? We don't want to take action just for action's sake. Although I do feel that a lot of the doors that are opening right now are aligned for us, are meant for us, are meant to be the direction that we're meant to be heading. But it's also a good thing to just take a minute and tune in with ourselves and ask ourselves, does this align? Is this I got the words heart truths when I was connecting with this energy, right? So I think part of this, before we decide how we're going to move forward or what our next steps are, I think we also want to take that time to just like pay attention to these heart truths that are coming through. So us asking ourselves or exploring with ourselves, what do I actually want? Now that I've like let go of the past, I'm releasing now that I have chosen to allow myself to move forward, what does that look like for me? What does moving forward look like for me? Where do I feel like I'm being led? And what do I want in regard to that? Also taking a look at where maybe we've been settling or allowing certain things that as we move forward or as we walk through new doors just aren't going to hit the same. Aren't going to like, what am I trying to say here? That like as we walk through these new doors, like we don't want to continue to repeat that pattern. We don't want to take that with us. So it's important that we take a look at that. So what we want to be doing right now is aligning our actions with what we now know our worth to be. So again, it's like that check-in before you do move forward. Does this align with who I am now? Does this align with the person that I believe myself to be and the person, like, does this reflect my worth? Does this reflect my value, or am I going backwards? Hopefully that makes sense. I think it's us asking ourselves, what am I ready to stop carrying as well? That's an important question to be exploring this week as we're working on releasing some of those sticking points, right? Maybe we've been carrying things that out of stubbornness or a sense of stuckness or whatever that is, but it's like, no, like now it's time to release that. I think there's a lot of emotional wisdom that is available for us this week. So if we choose to tune into it, I think it's going to teach you about yourself. I think it's going to teach you about what your heart wants, where your heart wants to go with things. So taking a little time to feel it out, but also being willing to move forward, even if we don't know exactly where this path is leading us. It's like if that next step feels like the right direction, if it feels like the right direction to walk through that door, even if we don't know what that door is opening to completely, continuing to move in that direction. Anyway, if once we've checked with ourselves, that feels right. Because this week we are choosing to move forward, but I think we've learned some things about self-abandonment recently. I think we've learned to stop doing that shit, right? We've learned that we have to value ourselves. We have to hold our worth, because if we don't, who will? If we can't recognize our worth, who else is going to respect that? So holding those standards and knowing that we can do that, knowing that we are the exact hero that we've always needed to provide that to ourselves, and being able to move forward and still continuing to honor ourselves and honor our hearts. I think there's a lot going on too with identity shifts right now. I think we're feeling that. Are you noticing like you just feel like a different person in a lot of ways, or you're maybe trying on different identities right now, waiting to see which one is going to feel the most aligned? Maybe you're even like dressing differently or showing up in the world differently. That can look so many different ways. Jay is saying, I'm setting my doors up so I can choose the right one. I love that. Yeah, like it's okay to have several different doors so you have options, right? Wow, this sun is like really in my eyes. I was not prepared for this today. So I think we want to be coming back to the heart and listening to that, because I also feel like there's a risk in this energy of being tempted to go back to the familiar. And I think in most cases, again, the message is to move forward. Trina's saying she has an interview on Friday to possibly change careers. Yeah. But again, Trina, like if you're going to want to tune in and say, does this align with who I am now and where I want to go? Because that's going to be so important, because again, you're learning how to move forward without abandoning yourself this time. This isn't just about like haphazard action, just doing whatever. This is about action based on inspiration or based on what our heart is leading us to do. That quote from The Alchemist, you'll never be able to escape your heart, so it's best you listen to what it has to say, or something like that. And we are part of closing doors also is like, if there are still some doors to close and we're feeling that, again, it's like listening to your heart. Your heart is trying to say, listen, it's time. It's time for that to come to a close. It's time for you to stop putting yourself through that. Why continue to put yourself through that? It's not serving you. And again, your emotions are going to tell you. I don't know what that clicking sound was, but like there's your sound response. That's like an exclamation point to what I just said. That was important, what I just said. I feel like there's a lot of clarity coming to the surface. We've been talking for several months now about just like truth upon truth upon truth. And I think like we see things more clearly now. Do we sometimes want to kind of slip into that state of denial? Sure. But I think this is about letting it all come to the surface, letting it all come to light, and honoring our truths as they come through. And recognizing that that's very important for us, that we no longer need to be abandoning ourselves. And I think sometimes like when we deny a truth or when we avoid certain aspects of the truth, we can abandon ourselves. We can stay in circumstances way longer than we would otherwise. Trina's saying clarity is her word for the year. It keeps popping up everywhere. Yeah, this is a year of clarity. This is a year of truth collectively. So what a perfect word for you to have for this year. I think we are seeing it more clearly. It's just important that we don't put the blindfold back on, that we let ourselves see it for what it is, even if in the moment, like it doesn't feel really good. But I think for the long term, it will feel better. For the long term, we're being very much set up to continue down a new pathway that is best for us, or several new pathways, several new experiences that we're going to be having. So tuning in with ourselves and just like feeling it all out. There's your sound response again. Asking ourselves, I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, the question is, does this align with the life that I'm now creating? Not the life that I had even 6 months ago. Does this align now with the life that I want to be creating, with all of the information that I have now, with all of the truth, with all of the clarity, with all of the understanding, with all of the work that I've done on myself? Does this align? That's the question. And if it does, or if you feel intuitively or in your heart that it does, then you walk through that door and you don't look back. Rebecca's saying, I legit feel like the universe is testing me to see if I really want what I said I want, putting other things in front of me to be like, but are you sure? Yeah. Like, that's it. I think some of these doors are like not good doors. A lot of them are, but some of these aren't, right? Some of them are these tests to say, are you going to just do the same shit all over again? Or are you going to truly move forward with your life? Because this energy, 0 planets in retrograde, is all about moving forward. We're in Aries season. Aries season like gives us a level of boldness that is unmatched. Let that boldness propel you forward through the uncomfortable, through the unknown, into a direction that is going to be that much better, right? But like, you already know, Rebecca, you're saying like the universe is testing it. You already know, right? And just, again, those are those sticking points that I was talking about, where it's like, okay, but maybe, but no, but no, because you already know. Right? Stephanie's saying universe is screaming at me to finally learn the lesson. Yeah, like that's kind of the vibe. That's kind of the vibe. Aries episode. I love that. That's fun. Yep. I'll show you guys the cards in just a minute. I'm pulling cards right now, and then we will talk about them. Oh, some truth coming to the surface. This is happening for us, moving us in the right direction. And like, the thing is, like, we know it. Like, none of these things are things that you don't know. It's just like, we're a little bit stubborn sometimes, you know? These cards are being a little bit stubborn today, actually. What do we have? What do you have for me? Okay. Okay. Last card. Maybe not. Stubborn cards. I did see that sun card when I split the deck, right? This is moving us in the direction of our best path, our highest path. Because we can choose all kinds of different paths, right? But where we're being led is our highest path, because that's going to like bring you the most joy, the most fulfillment. That's going to allow you to fulfill your life in the most purposeful way, and to have, quite frankly, better experiences, right? Like getting out of the old loop of just the same thing again and again and again. And we've been there in a loop in some ways. And I think all of this is like trying to pull us out of the loop so that we can truly move forward with our lives. Not saying it's easy, but I am saying that this energy will support that if we choose it. And there is like this vibe of expansion, right? Like, and coming back to what is the impact that we want to have on the world? What is the legacy that we want to leave? And coming back to purpose and doing things that feel purposeful. I think there's a lot of that here in this energy too. And that's like what to invest your energy into, is like the things that you feel are contributing for the long term for your better, the things that you're investing in, your time, your energy, maybe even your money. can have a really solid return on that investment. So that feels important to mention too. Okay, let's get to the cards. So we have the Seven of Wands. So you might feel like, yeah, there's tests coming your way. You might feel like you're trying to move forward, but like things keep sucking you back in, or things that other people want from you are impacting and influencing the doors that you're walking through, the choices that you're making, the decisions that you're making. But look at the way that this person who has the wand is standing on higher ground from all of these other ones. Like you're good. You're in a good, solid position. And who put you there? You and God, right? And so just know that you don't have to let other people's opinions, other people's wants for the things that they want from you to influence you, to impact you, if that's not your truth, if that's not what aligns for you. And it may mean standing strong in something that you know that you need to be moving forward with, and other people don't get it. And that's okay. You don't need them to get it. It's nice when they get it, but you don't always need them. And I feel like sometimes when we're trying to do something better for ourselves, people get triggered. So it's like at the end of the day, like you've got to tune in with you and ask yourself, what's right for me? What do I want to be moving forward with? What's right for me? What am I feeling intuitively led, spiritually led? What is that path? And honoring that path. The Queen of Pentacles, because we want to, like, this feels to me like just drowning out the noise from everything and everyone and saying, again, what do I want? What matters to me? What's most important to me? Who and what do I want to be nurturing right now? What, this version of me that I am now, what does she want to be investing in right now? That's really key and important. Three of Swords in reverse. Yeah, don't go backwards. Leave it in the rearview mirror. Keep going forward. And like, you know what this feels like to me is these old resentments, these old things that have hurt us in the past that we're carrying, that if we're really honest with ourselves, we probably should have let go of a long time ago, because we're only holding ourselves back. Right? I think we can just like hold on to this and hold on to that. And eventually you hold on to enough, it gets really heavy. It gets really overwhelming. And then what do you do with that? You're just like weighed down and too tired to really live your life and really move forward with your life. So this is talking about letting some of that go. Maybe someone disrespected you. Maybe someone did something terrible to you. And I'm not saying that you can't honor that you had that experience. Of course. And we have to grieve and we have to honor it. But also, how can you, what parts of this can you let go of? And how can you start to allow yourself to move forward with your life? Because not living because you're carrying something isn't good for you. This isn't even about the people that you need to forgive, right? Karma takes care of it every single time. And you might be recognizing this week too that there's old stuff still coming up for you, saying, hey, pay attention to me. But I want you to remember, we talked a few weeks ago about starving the energy out, right? Because what you focus on, you feed. And of course, that energy, especially if you've started to move away from it and move forward with your life, it's going to come knocking like, hey, why aren't you paying attention to me anymore? And I think if we can starve out the things that we don't want to focus on, the things that aren't contributing to our lives in a positive way, in a way that is helpful to us, it's going to allow us to move forward in a way that's lighter and more free. Then we have the Five of Swords. So we also might continue to be shown things that we need to see, right? This is about truth. This can be about truth around a deception of some kind. But what I want you to remember is like that's about them, the choice that they made with that. That's not about you. And it's not a reflection of your worth and your value. I feel like somebody needs to hear that. And I think like the question again, though, is like, do I need to continue to carry this, especially if this is something that happened a long time ago? Like, what value does this have in me carrying this? Especially if you've taken the time to like feel through it and talk about it and grieve and process it. What value does it have? I feel like we're part what some of these doors are about setting ourselves free from the past and the ways that we've kept ourselves slowed down and stuck because we're so focused on the past. And this is about moving forward. The next card that we have here is the Knight of Pentacles. This feels like something good coming in for us this week, and not just something like an idea coming in or feeling the energy of something coming in. This feels like something actually happening, right? Where we're like, okay, yeah, that seed that I planted a year ago, 2 years ago, 6 years ago, that maybe I thought at this point was never going to happen, is actually showing signs that it's developing now. Like this is a concrete growth. This is concrete movement. This might even be somebody giving you some kind of an important gift that improves your life in some way. And it's also about, again, how do we invest our intention? Look at the way that the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles both stare at that coin. They're focused on what's important to them, or that pentacle, right? Like they're focused on what matters to them, what they need to be focusing on, what they should be investing in, because they know that it's going to give them a solid return on that. But some might have some kind of like an offer coming through in regard to money or work or a house or something like that. I do kind of feel like there's just like some gifts from the universe this week, and I feel like they might come through in the form of a more concrete material way. The last card that we have here is the Nine of Cups, and this is about feeling fulfilled, right? And taking a look. I think some of this is about just like pausing and recognizing how far we've come. Yeah, Jay says, ooh, housing. Yeah, I know you've been working on that. So I think like there's a level of fulfillment in holding gratitude this week for how far we've already come, the things that we have that we've maybe prayed for before that we already have. I think it's taking a look at what will fulfill this version of me now. Because again, the question is, does this align? Do these things that I'm moving toward, do they align for me? Is that going to feel fulfilling for me? And following that fulfillment, following that alignment, let that be your guide. This also does feel like, though, some kind of wish fulfillment this week. So I feel like there's like these little blessings, and the wish fulfillment may be a door that's opened for you or opening for you this week. And you look at that and you go, oh, that's exciting, but I'm also scared because I know that that means that things are going to change. But what did I tell you last week? Your new life is going to cost you your old one. And I meant that. And we're still in that process of grieving some of that. And that's where we're getting caught up in these sticking points as well. But if we can trust the process and keep moving forward in the direction that our guides, the universe, God, whatever that is for you, is guiding you, it's going to lead you exactly where you're meant to be. So listen to your heart, trust yourself, but keep moving forward. So those are your messages for this week. Let me know how they resonate, especially if you're watching on the replay. Once again, if you guys feel the pull, the call to share this video, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Some of you guys do that all the time, and I appreciate it so much. And if you want to like this video, whatever you want to do, all of it helps. And maybe there's somebody who needs to hear these messages that you want to tag below as well. All right. I love you all. I will see you soon with another video. Take care.